Okay, listen, with all this Henry Cavill news, there's just one very simple, logical conclusion here. I think Henry Cavill is based. I mean, let me ask you this. Does anyone know where Henry Cavill was January 6, 2021? Didn't think so. If you haven't heard yet, Henry Cavill has left two really big projects within months of each other. First, he left The Witcher, then later he announced he will no longer be playing Superman after a post-credit scene in Black Adam. So let's look into some of these departures and let's see what Henry Cavill is doing next. But of course, before we get into anything, guys, if you enjoy my content, please be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Last year, Netflix released their second season of The Witcher, a project in which Cavill was excited to be a part of. Until it came out, the writers openly mocked the source material, which really isn't an ideal scenario for Henry Cavill because he's doing the show because he loves those books and he loves the games. And he did say that he would stop doing this show if the writers and showrunners don't respect the source material, which he wasn't kidding on. And there were reports of Cavill being on set trying to make sure they stayed true to the books, but that didn't really work out. Because if you watch a Netflix show and if you read the books, you would see why Cavill is upset. Now, of course, Henry Cavill did state he would no longer return as Geralt after season 3, which is a huge bummer in my opinion. It really felt like Henry Cavill was keeping this thing standing. And a lot of fans knew how passionate Cavill was to this project. And them not knowing he's returning after season 3, my guess is there's going to be a big viewership drop. But this is Hollywood in 2022, baby. He can't leave without some hint of a scandal. After his departure, Henry Cavill was accused of toxic behavior on set. A Twitter user released this long accusation of how Henry Cavill acted on set. Basically, what they said was Henry Cavill was impossible to work with women, and he also was addicted to video games and used video game bro language. And get this right, they compared the addiction to video games to being brainwashed by QAnon. Now, obviously, there's no evidence at all that this is true. And even the Twitter user who posted the accusation made a legal disclaimer saying that these statements aren't confirmed. Now, in my opinion, this feels like the showrunners and everyone on set is trying to throw Henry Cavill under the bus, but clearly there's no fuel to the flame. I mean, it's not like he was getting Me Too'd or anything. It even says in the post that he wasn't sexualizing women at all. The worst thing he did was speak in video game language bro talk, which apparently is illegal in Hollywood sets. Now, clearly the most logical reason for the Witcher departure is because he was upset with the direction of the show. But I think we can also assume he left to return to the role of Superman. After the Black Adam film, an end credit scene showcased that Henry Cavill will return as Superman in the DCEU. This ignited the internet. Everyone's pumped. They love Henry Cavill's Superman. But then we probably get the biggest gut punch ever. James Gunn basically took over all DCEU projects and announced that he will be rebuilding from the ground up and will not include Henry Cavill's Superman. But why would they do this? Why would they have him come back for 5 seconds and then just gone the next? Well, folks, do I have some great insight for you? As it turns out, The Rock is pulling the greatest heel turn of his career. I believe The Rock wanted to be the Kevin Feige of the DCEU. So he put everything he had into this Black Adam film. He basically tried to use Cavill's Superman in hopes to take control of the universe. Well, what's left of it anyways. But obviously, that didn't work out because James Gunn got the key to the castle and he's completely rebuilding the whole thing. So where does this leave Cavill in all this chaos? Well, I think he landed in the best place possible. Henry Cavill is now heading an Amazon project. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Amazon? You mean the people who made The Wheel of Time and The Rings of Power? Yes, but they have some projects that aren't completely garbage. Honestly, I think it depends on who's in charge of the series rather than, the big Jeffrey Bezos machine.
Jeffrey Bezos,
So the series he's working on is a Warhammer series. If you don't know Warhammer, it's a miniature war game that you collect little figures and you can like paint them and stuff. The reason this is great for Cavil is because, you know, he loves Warhammer. He's very passionate in this miniature game. He actually has a collection of minifigures himself, which shows that he's very passionate and very familiar with the source material. In the end, I think The Witcher and the DCEU will fail after passing up on a guy like Henry Cavill. Because not only is he a great actor, but he's super passionate on every project he works on. Plus, I think a lot of people are on the Cavill train and will stop watching The Witcher and won't see any more DC movies. All because the one guy who seems to be the voice of the fans has left the project. And that's another point I want to make. Isn't it funny how these TV shows and movies get rid of the one guy who is respectful to the source material. The one guy who knows what the fans want and, you know, knows what they expect from these projects. I'm not saying these shows and movies will go woke and broke, but all I'm saying is the one guy who respects the original content is gone. So what's stopping these people from completely destroying another franchise? But of course, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of Henry Cavill's latest departures and his new Amazon series? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. If you want to see any one of my other videos, please be sure to click on this playlist right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.